Do, 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 do. Oh, interesting. Well, I'm going to try it again right now because I've checked and yes, my phone is playing the backing tracks, but they definitely are not going through the system. So I'm just going to sing a cappella because otherwise it's too fiddly. And I'll see what we can get through in the remaining time. Um, so I'm just going to, once again, I'm counting on you not being able to see this page that I'm reading. I hope you can't, but at any rate, hey, 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 all you hip chicks and hip cats. Catherine M. Thompson and Anine Bourgeois, Catherine M. Thompson, Indigenous, St. Thomas, Ontario, and Dunjaba, Megwa, Burlington, and Dinda. I acknowledge the long history of First Nations and Métis people in the province of Ontario and pay respect to the Six Nations of the Grand River Territory and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the holders of the treaty with the Crown for these lands. This land is within the traditional territories of the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Huron-Wendat nations. Cat's Meow is going live to YouTube, broadcast via eCam. Today is Sunday, December 28th, 2025, and today I'm going only to my YouTube channel, which can be seen on my channel under the live. Uh, there's a live heading, or more directly on the watch page. And I've shared that link in my email, and also I did do a little bit of not ads, but just sort of sharing of events on Facebook. Um, and I did run out of time today, so I wasn't able to send a reminder out to people because we actually had our big Christmas celebration and dinner and gift giving and all of that on Boxing Day. And then it takes me several days to recover because, I always think I'm going to be ready, but I never am. My body slows me down and plans get brought forward. So anyway, I hope you've had a wonderful time so far this year, whether you celebrated Hanukkah or the winter solstice, Christmas and New Year's, and Kwanzaa. And Kwanzaa just started yesterday. So yeah, there was 9 of us at the table, and it was just lovely, um, and lots of gifts. And I got an air dryer, which is just all my kids got together and got me an air dryer, which is perfect. I hope I hope I'll be able to start making better meals for myself. Now, I was going to sing Papa's Photo to the backing track, but that is not going to happen because the backing track is not it won't play through the system. So um, I could actually hold it up to the phone. I'll see if I can do that because there's an interesting thing here where the I did have a music supervisor who listened to this and sort of said, "Oh no, that's not right." And because of the brassy instruments at the beginning, sounded a little raunchy, but I kind of like it. People do like it. So I'll see what happens if I play them. Early Christmas morning, bleary-eyed and yawning, we gather all together on the stairs. Giggling and jostling, we find our places. Sweet anticipation glowing in our faces. Papa sets a camera, and when everyone is there, he snuggles in among us. At the bottom of the stairs, the lights are all around us, and everything's so bright, he doesn't need a single light. So smile for Papa's photo before you see the tree. Take another picture, make another memory, a part of this tradition ever since we were born. Papa's photo of the family on the stairs each Christmas morn. Oh, drummer. Well, there make. I don't know if that started already. I think it did. Sorry about that. So smile for Papa's photo before you see the tree. Make another picture, make another memory, a part of this tradition. Ever since we were born, Papa's photo of the family on the stairs each Christmas morn. But there may come a time when Papa finds himself alone. And who will take the photograph when Papa dear is gone? Until our Christmas colors are all turning blue, we'll do what we always do. We'll smile for Papa's photo before we see the tree. I guess that's it. Yeah, well, all of this is throwing me right off, so sorry about that, folks. Um, yes, so Papa, which is my husband, passed away almost 3 years ago now. Hard to believe. I'm just sort of beginning to get started on things again. Um, and one of the things that I've done is to have a meeting with my producer and talk about launching Little Boat Moon, which we actually recorded in August of 2024. And I have the artwork for it, but that my daughter Megan did. It's beautiful, and we have two versions. So I have two versions of the painting, and you know, uh, it's going to be really fascinating because what we're going to do, what we've decided to do, is to have a house concert here in my house, and I can squeeze about 20 or 30 people into the living room area, probably probably 30 because I've got lots of extra chairs stored down the basement and so forth. And it's going to be myself and Matt Gerber, who is playing ukulele on the one version. And the other version has ukulele and harmonica from Matt. And then Chris added in, tambourines and spoons and washboards and all kinds of things. So that's sort of fun. And so we'll that will happen. We'll do that. Um, do the simple version at first. Matt will do his set, then maybe I'll do a set, and then Chris and Shari will do a set each. And at the end we'll do the more complicated, complex version of Little Boat Moon, and so it's quite exciting. And I have that on the back of my mind, but I'm also going to read. I will do one of the stories from my keynote concert. And I have the edited version. Well, it's actually not as edited as I want it to be, but I'm going to say read you. Oh dear, pooped everything away. I'm going to read you. What am I doing? This is crazy. Oh, I know why. Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's better. Um, I don't know what happens when the screen shoots away like that. Very interesting. And I need to get that up. Sorry about that. Come on. There we go. I can get rid of this and I can put this over here so I can see myself down in the little window. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Oh, Lord. Now I'm really messing it up. Okay. So this story was originally called The Three Eyes, and it was actually my opening, but now it's the middle story. And and it's funny because just the other day I was talking to an old friend from Niagara, and she was saying, "Oh my God, that was so wonderful, the conference that you had, and your openings, your keynote," she called it, was which was really funny, but it was my opening statement to the people who came, and I was both the president of the organization and the host, and I was able to welcome delegates to Without Boundaries, the 20th Annual Art Schools Network Conference, held in October of 2002, I believe, in Niagara on the Lake. And all kinds of people have talked about these opening statements, so I thought I'd repeat it here. Now, when I told the story last time about my father, who had been, Daddy was a bass man in a swing band, and he was such a musician, and he wanted the family allowance checks to pay for music lessons for everyone. So my three older sisters all studied music at the school convent, and but when it came time to sign me up, I just said, no, I don't want to study music. I'm a dancer. And that was one of my very first memories. I think I saw Hans Christian Andersen. I think I saw Colleen Kenny, who was a local girl in the original company of the National Ballet of Canada. And I saw her in concert in St. Thomas. She was from St. Thomas. And in Hans Christian Andersen, if you've never seen the movie, he's my favorite fairy tale writer, but he had the whole thing in the story about him kind of falling for this ballerina and wanting to make more comfortable shoes because he was a they presented him as a cobbler, and Hans Christian Andersen was actually a journalist. He wrote for newspapers, and he went to Paris and so forth to review uh, dance companies and that. Anyway, my sisters studied piano at the school convent, and then one of them switched to violin. And my younger sister also studied piano, and then my very youngest sister followed me into dance. My father insisted on lessons, but he was happy to include the dance classes as well. So the Arringtons taught me that to be a good, really wonderful dancer required the three I's: intelligence, integrity, and intensity. And I didn't understand integrity and intensity, but I thought I knew what intelligence meant because I was smart. I was often the head of my classes and so forth. By the time I was 13, I was also an apprentice member of a dance teachers organization and beginning to perform in public. I really would have died for a school for the arts, but as it was, I continued my schooling at a small Catholic elementary and high school. And by the time I was in grade 13, a fifth year of senior matriculation, which we used to have here in Ontario, which was really pre-university year, I had been going to London for an evening advanced ballet class after school and on Sunday afternoons for several years. And I took the exam in the spring of grade 12 and passed highly commended, which was a really great mark. Well, in grade 13, the principal, Sister Mary Michael, that we called Big Mike, called me to her office and she said, Catherine, if you don't use the gifts God gave you and become an Ontario Scholar this year, you will someday have to pay for it. I was shocked and surprised as she spoke to me like that. So I responded, Sister, my brains are not the only gift I was given. The other gift is my future. And that summer in 1965, I went to the Banff School of Fine Arts and then returned to Toronto to dance in the C&E Grandstand Show, which was 50 female dancers and 10 male backing up the lead guests, Bob Hope, Victor Borg, and other greats. And I made a late application to the University of Western Ontario and was accepted. And I spent 1 year there, dancing in the musical Oklahoma, doing plays, and making a little movie called Steps for Catherine, meeting the heart of London artists and having a great time doing what I loved. But I failed 3 of the 6 courses I was taking that year, and I felt a little smug about that. And after I went back to dance in the Grandstand Show at the X, the last year of the show, I stayed in Toronto and rented a garret apartment. Well, about a year later, I got married and went down to Kitchener Waterloo, where at Wilfrid Laurier University, they their major production was going to be My Fair Lady, and I simply walked in and up to the director and offered myself to him as a dancer and choreographer. Nothing like learning by doing. I just, I had never choreographed anything that huge, but that's what I did. And then at the end of the year, we moved out to BC for my husband's Master of Psychology degree. I enrolled in the drama degree program, and I'd also already taken a couple of courses with the woman who was the movement teacher for the drama court program, and she was doing stuff that really threw me for a loop because when I took her creative dance classes, she would say, just, go across the floor in a straight line, rising and falling as you go. And I was just, okay, well, I could do like ballet pirouettes and jazz knee spins. Or is that what you mean? And she was like, yeah, you could do that, or you could just do what I ask you to do. So it took me about 6 months to break through. And then I realized that, you know, I could make dance as well as be a dancer. So anyway, we came back. I was only in drama for a year, and then we came back. And when my husband took a teaching position in Sarnia, Ontario, and what by the time we moved up to Oakville, I was in my mid-20s. I decided it was time to give up dance to be a good mother. And so, I had a couple of babies, and I realized in the depths of depression that it wouldn't matter if I ever weighed 300 pounds or was confined to a wheelchair. One thing would never change. I am a dancer. So back to university, I went at York University. I completed my Bachelor of Fine Arts in dance at York at the age of 30. And, and actually, that was when I wrote my first song. It was in journaling for one of the dance courses. And then I did a lot of work as a visiting artist in school and as a dancer and a storyteller, using an active storytelling method I had learned while doing my degree. And when I learned that dance was about to become the fourth art in Ontario curriculum, I completed my B.Ed. Now, I was almost 40 then, and I was hired as the artistic director of what became Niagara District of Niagara Academy for the Arts at Niagara District Secondary School, or DNA Arts. In a year or two, I found myself on the writing committee of a dance curriculum for school classes grades 7 to 13. And that is dance as an art, not dance as a little unit that you do in phys ed. So in 1998, I attended my first Art Schools Network conference held in various cities every October, and had learned about best practices and how I would like to head a school. I completed principal qualifications and began a Master of Education. And if you know dancers, you know that these jobs and studies were not undertaken lightly in half measures. Yet a Niagara District superintendent remarked that I had too artistic a temperament to make a good fit for front office administration, which I ponder at times, rather bemused. I completed and defended my master's thesis in 2009. It was accepted as read. I graduated with a Master of Education degree over the age of 60. So I've done all the tests to determine my true colors, my IQ, and my aptitudes. I know the discussion about intelligence mentions visual thinkers, creative this and that, but nowhere do I find a category where I fit comfortably. Completing my master's degree was a challenge because although I love to write, I chafed at the restrictions of the APA format. I now understand integrity and intensity. It is intelligence I question. I am intelligent, but I'm not an intellectual. I'm not a scholar. I'm smart, but I'm not a scholar. I'm a good student, but I'm not an academic. But there is a category for me. I am I'm going to get choked up at this. I'm an artist. I was born an artist. I remain one. It is in the attention to detail and the love of beautiful execution that I bring to everything I tackle, whether success or failure is the outcome. I am an artist. I want every art for every child in every school with strong arts programming for all. Art schools provide specialized arts education serving those students for whom art is the way of thinking. It is my hope that through the conferences and services, each teacher and administrator develops abilities and capacities to nurture the artist in every child and every child who is an artist. Now, what I should tell you is that after living this life in dance, in 2002, when I was 55, my right ankle, I wasn't even doing a movement. I was just posing in a certain pose I wanted all the students to copy. And the the tendon that goes behind your right ankle flipped to the front of my ankle and tore along the side of my foot. It was extremely painful. And I realized at that point that I had to stop. I could not dance anymore. Well, it took a while. It took from 2002 to 2018, at which point my hands and wrists blew up in a flare. And then I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and I began to understand why my joints were so stiff. Not from osteo. I'd had that. I had my knees replaced in, 2014. It was this very profound blow your right ankle apart message from my body to say, stop dancing. You cannot do this anymore. Well, it took me until I retired in 2011 to realize that I had this back burner of songs and poetry. And I had promised my dad at one point, and he was long gone, that I would do something with the music. And so I met my my wonderful producer, Chris Burkett, in 2013. And we've been recording and releasing music since then. The first couple of EPs are not in distribution anymore, but they're available on SoundCloud and Reverb Nation. And when I was diagnosed with when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, it was in July of 2018, and you know, it was funny because the next week, I had Song Studio, which I'd been going to ever since 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Very, very helpful in terms of writing songs or, you know, figuring out how to change a song so that it would work. And so one of the things that my rheumatologist said to me when I was diagnosed was, how much do you like alcohol? And I said, well, I like a shot of whiskey at actually Jack Daniels, but whiskey, at 10 o'clock at night, feet up, watching TV or whatever. He said, yeah, you get one. And I said, one what? And he said, one shot of whiskey, have it on Saturday night because that's halfway between your Wednesday night methotrexate. And so it was like, it was just, it was just a shock. And I have to say that over the years, I would cheat. I would, oh, well, it's late Friday night, it's early Sunday afternoon or something like that. But nowadays I have one drink on Saturday night and that's it. And so I went to Song Studio and that week I wrote a shot of whiskey. And I'll, I'll play it now. I'll sing it now, I should say. And, if I can find it here, song files, a shot of whiskey. There it is right there. And I just need to find the no vocal. There we go. I have to download and everything. But I thought I'd go out on that. And so Bama P, I'll see you later. Yeah, next time, hopefully I'll figure out what's going on with the crazy sound. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. My friends are with me and we're feeling alright. The band is pumping out our favorite songs. The joint is jumping as we sing along. Another round, I won't put up a fight. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Monday to Friday, it's a daily grind. Go to church on Sunday when we rest and pray. There goes the weekend before Saturday. Hey, the only time we can do it upright. Shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Susie is dancing with Sammy. Davy is dancing with Dan. I'm on the loose with nothing to lose. I'm gonna get me a man. Shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. My friends are with me and we're feeling alright. The band is pumping out our favorite songs. The joint is jumping as we sing along. Another round, I won't put up a fight. Shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Bartender, I'd love a whiskey. Hello, Jack. A sipping whiskey. I don't knock it back. A perfect set. Gentleman, hatting straight up. That's what I call a loving cup. A chaser for beer, or is beer the chaser? A boiler maker? I'll bring that bottle over here and pour me a whiskey, a double whiskey, a shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Pour me a whiskey, a double whiskey, a shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Another round, I won't put up a fight. A shot of whiskey on a Saturday night. Susie is dancing with Sammy. Davy is dancing with Dan. I'm on the loose with nothing to lose. I'm gonna get me a man. Hey, Joyce. Pour me a whiskey, a shot of whiskey, a double whiskey on a Saturday night. Hey, Joyce, it's great to see you here. I'm amazed that you got in. I tell you what, I started at 4 and just like a second before I started, I did something with my phone and I don't know what it was, or maybe it was because I plugged it in and there's something wrong with the connections. I don't know, but no sound would come through the monitors at all. And so I disconnected my phone and I watched, I didn't even know if my voice was coming through, but I watched the replay and I was like, okay, I can hear my voice. So I'll try to figure out what this sound thing is. And it just, I can't figure it out. Like everything's plugged in, everything's connected, all the lights are on, but nothing. And so I just decided I would go live again at 4:30 and do it without the sound playback through the monitor. So just play back the backing tracks. In fact, I was going to just do it a cappella, but then I decided I could, sort of hold the phone up here. So I'm doing okay, and I do get your messages, and I'm afraid I don't reply much, but I do see them, and that comic is just hilarious. I have to say, the last couple that you sent me, he's really very good, um, and uh, and you seem to be doing well. But I'm kind of at the end of everything now, and so it's lovely that you got in and just watch the replay on my YouTube channel. That would be fantastic. And Happy New Year to you and to you all. And I'll see you next time. Bama P. I have to finish this.